Hey guys, got another walkthrough video for you. This time I'm showing my OB Ambient Pads 2. So I created this product after working on Influencers Church's album. So I'm doing a bunch of keys for their worship album, and I'm using this different type of shimmer effect more and more these days. So I wanted to create a product and make it available to anyone that wants it. So the difference between OB Ambient Pads 1 and this version, obviously I'm using the same keyboard, my OB6 from Dave Smith, but I'm using a different pad sound. I'm actually playing really fast arpeggios and running it through my Big Sky shimmer setting on 100% wet. So it's a little bit different, the way I'm playing it, the effect that it's giving. It's wetter, more reverb. It's got a little bit more motion, I reckon, because I'm playing arpeggios and not playing a static chord. And of course, I'm using 100% wet reverb setting, so it is more ambient. So yeah, I just wanted to create the second kind of version, and you can go on multi-tracks if you want to, and A/B the two different ones, the OB Ambient Pads 1 and OB Ambient Pads 2, and kind of check out the difference between those kind of shimmer sounds that I'm creating. Just like the other version, I've got a main stage 3 template version with it all set up in there. I've got a Waves version, and I've got an M4A version. Obviously the M4A version is a lot smaller, so if you're running out of space and you want to put it on your iPhone or iPad or Android, kind of any playback device, this is going to take up less room. The Wave version, I think it's about 3 or 4 gigs. Let me check here. Yeah, it's just over 3 gigs. And the M4A is, let me see, it's just over 700 megabytes. So I wanted to create M4As and not MP3s because I like the quality of M4A better than MP3, but it still compresses it enough to leave you some space on your playback device after installing it. We are also going to add an Ableton template to the Waves and the M4A versions. It doesn't mean you need to own Ableton, but it's kind of like a bonus template. So if you do, we've got it all set up with effects and everything in there as well. Obviously, these aren't just for keyboard players. You could be a worship leader playing acoustic and you want a nice ambient pad bed behind you while you're doing acoustic worship set. These would work great. Just put it on your iPad or iPhone, etc., and use it that way. But yeah, I'll quickly show you the difference between the bright and the warm version. So I wanted to create 2 different versions just to give you a little bit of variety. So let's go to, let's say this one, and it obviously naturally fades in, and then after 12 minutes it will naturally fade out, and you can obviously fade it earlier than that with your playback device. So here's the bright version. Rough fade. Let's go to OB2 warm. So as you can hear, they're completely different. One's really warm sounding, not as much top, and the other one's obviously bright, just like the name says. I'm playing 1-5-1 of every chord, so it'll work in major keys as well as minor keys. And I've kind of high pass filtered the bottom end out, so you can change your chords and run a whole song, which I'll show you in the main stage version, and you don't have to worry about the bottom end clashing with the bottom notes of your chords. Okay, so let's go to the main stage version and I'll show you some demos with a piano. If anyone's wondering, the piano that I'll be using in this example isn't included in this bundle. It's one of the presets from my Ultimate Piano Collection Plus. I won't go into detail about the template layout because I already did that in the OB Ambient Pads 1, the first version, so just go and look at that video if you want more of a detailed description on kind of how it all works. But I'm going to start off just playing, let's say Oceans. It's kind of a classic, everyone knows. And then I'm just going to improvise and see what happens and change keys and muck around with some of these knobs and stuff to create different kind of ambiences. I'll just mention quickly, this is crossfading between those two pads that I just showed you. That's a motion button, adding just a slight auto panning. Then you got your EQs, yeah, extra shimmer if you want it. And this is a volume just for the ambient pads, and it won't affect, for example, like the piano that I'm using in here. You can use it in this template and add all your sounds to this one, or you can easily just export these playback files into another template and map them to whatever MIDI controller you're using and use them that way. So there you go. There's just a few different ways that you can use it to create light and shade and change keys and all that. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching.